me how the story goes. Little hope but bigger dreams.
Hey, what's my froze? It's me, Gina, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 30 mistakes that you're probably making with your natural hair. As you guys know, if you haven't been following me, if you're new, 2018, I struggled with my natural hair and I pretty much hit a plateau. But in the past 6 months, my hair has been flourishing, and you can just check out all my past videos and you can kind of see from where I was struggling up until now and how much my hair has changed since then. And because of that, I wanted to share with you guys these 30 mistakes that you're probably making with your natural hair and don't even know it, or you do know it and then you're wondering why your hair is not growing. So before we get into these mistakes, if you have not joined our SmartFro family, make sure you hit the subscription button as well as the notification button so you don't miss out on any new uploads. And let's get into these mistakes. So the very first mistake is you don't know your porosity. Listen, hair type does not matter. Porosity does. If you don't know your porosity, you don't know how to properly moisturize your hair and keep your hair moisturized. So if you don't know your porosity, you're making a mistake with your natural hair. Number two, not taking the time to learn what your hair likes and doesn't like. If you're using products that your hair doesn't like, your hair is not going to thrive. And you're missing out on those products that your hair does like that will make your hair thrive. So take the time, make a journal to find out what are those ingredients that your hair loves, what are those ingredients that your hair hates, and that will save you a lot of time and it will also save you a lot of money. Number three, don't treat your hair the same way you treated it when you first big chopped. This was a mistake that I made. I kept doing pretty much the same routines as I did when I first big chopped, when my hair was a lot shorter, and then I was wondering why I wasn't seeing any growth, any length retention. You can't do the same things that you did when your hair was shorter. Just things changed. Like for me, detangling. When my hair was shorter, I could get away with not detangling my hair in sections. Now I just cannot because I can't properly detangle my hair if my hair is not in sections. Number four, not having an actual hair regimen. Another mistake that I made. When I say not having an actual hair regimen, it is not enough to just say, well, I wash my hair once a week, so that's my regimen. That is not a regimen. A regimen is, you know, when you clarify, you know how often you clarify, you know how often you trim, you know how often you do protein treatments. All of that is important to having an actual regimen. So if you don't have an actual regimen, you're probably making a mistake when it comes to your natural hair. Number five, using those hair ties with the metal thing around. Are we still doing that? Like, I could have sworn that was like 2009, 2008. We still doing that? If you're doing that, don't do that. Don't do that. There are plenty of scrunchies without the metals. You can use those satin scrunchies, and just don't do that. Don't do that. Number five, not taking the time to create neat parts when you detangle. Don't have to create neat parts when you're twisting your hair up because that causes like an indentation and you know where you parted. But when you're detangling your hair, you want neat parts because you will cause breakage if you do not, because sometimes you will pull pieces from another part and it will kind of break off. And I found that that's what I was doing, and I was wondering why I was having these little breakage all throughout my hair. And that was because I wasn't creating neat parts. So create neat parts, clip that section out the way that you're not detangling, and then thoroughly detangle that section. Number seven, not doing protein treatments. Whether you're low porosity or high porosity, you have to do protein treatments. If you're high porosity, you have to do protein treatments just a little bit more than low porosity. But low porosity hair needs protein treatments. If you're not doing protein treatments, you are making a mistake with your natural hair. Number eight, not clarifying your hair. You need to be clarifying your hair at least once a month, especially if you are someone who uses heavy products like butters, heavy creams. That was a mistake that I made. I'm low porosity. I was using a lot of butters, a lot of heavy creams, but I wasn't clarifying my hair. I was clarifying my hair like every 6 months and just regular shampooing in between those weeks. But that wasn't getting my scalp, getting my strands clean, stripped of all those butters. And so the products could not penetrate like they should. And ever since I started clarifying my hair once a month, I have seen a significant difference. My hair can actually take those products in like it's supposed to, and it has done wonders. So if you're not clarifying your hair, and clarifying, you can use a clarifying shampoo or you can do a bentonite clay mask once a month. If you're not clarifying your hair, you are making a mistake with your natural hair. Number 9, pulling your hair back in super tight buns, puffs, all that jazz. Listen, I understand we want the super slick look, but sometimes people want that super slick look and then they wonder where their edges are. Like, you cannot pull your hair in those super tight buns. It causes too much tension on your hair. You can still very much get slick styles without pulling your hair super tight. This is a slick style and it literally doesn't even feel like my hair is pulled up. So you can definitely get those styles without sacrificing your edges. Number 10, not re-moisturizing your hair when you should. I was guilty of this. I would be sitting on the couch and I'll be like, you know what? My hair is kind of moisturized, but it could really use a little re-moisture to get me through the rest of the week. But I was too lazy and I didn't want to re-moisturize my hair, and then I was wondering why my hair was breaking off. Re-moisturize your hair. If you're not re-moisturizing your hair, you are causing damage to your hair. Number 11, not trimming. Not trimming your hair is going to cause unnecessary breakage. It is also going to keep you from length retention. So make sure you are trimming your hair. How often you trim is up to you. Just make sure you actually have a regimen when it comes to trimming. Number 12, not cutting single strand knots when you see them. I was paying attention to a lot of these girls who have long hair here on YouTube, and that is one thing I noticed that they do. Whenever they're doing their hair, even though they're not trimming, if they come across a single strand knot, they just go ahead and snip it off. They don't even waste their time. They don't say, oh, let me wait till it's my trimming day. They just snip it off. Because here's the thing. If you leave the single strand knot, it's going to probably cause more single strand knots because your hair is going to get tangled into that one knot. And what started off minor becomes large, becomes major. So definitely just go ahead and snip those single strand knots when you see them. Number 13, not properly moisturizing your hair. This kind of goes back to number 1. You need to know how to moisturize your hair. You need to know whether your hair does better with the lock method, with the LCO method, whether your hair actually likes butters, whether it doesn't like butters, whether your hair actually needs water every like certain 3 or 4 days. You need to know how to properly moisturize your hair, because if you're not properly moisturizing your hair, it doesn't matter whether you re-moisturize your hair, whether you shampoo, deep condition, because you're not properly getting that moisture in how your hair can take that moisture. So if you're not properly moisturizing your hair, if you don't know what really works to keep your hair moisturized, you're making a mistake with your natural hair. Number 14, continuing to go to a stylist who does not care about the health of your hair. Not all stylists are bad. In fact, I find that even more, you are starting to run across more stylists who really care about the health of your natural hair. But at the same time, there are stylists who, their goal is to just make your hair look good. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to care about the health of your hair. Their job is to do a style, make that style look good and for you. So if you're going to a stylist that doesn't really care about the health of hair, you're probably going to cause damage in the long run. So don't continue seeing that stylist. You can find a stylist who cares about the health of your hair and making your hairstyles look good at the same time. They are out there. You just have to do the research and find them. Number 15. Only co-washing your hair. Co-washing is not cleansing your hair. It doesn't have those ingredients needed to actually cleanse your scalp and cleanse your strands. If you only co-wash your hair, you're probably making a mistake with your natural hair. Now, some people can get away with co-washing like for 2 months and then shampoo it and they're good. However, I highly recommend that you don't just co-wash only. You need to shampoo your hair and clarify your hair to get those products out. Brushing and combing your hair on dry hair. If your hair is dry, do not put a brush or comb through it. You better take a spray bottle and spray your hair with some kind of water. Reactivate those products before you put a comb or a brush to your hair. You will cause breakage, and it is just unnecessary breakage. Like, there's no reason you should be brushing and combing your hair on super dry hair. Like, there's no excuse. You shouldn't do it. Over dyeing your hair. Listen, color causes damage. May not be apparent right away, but eventually it will. The only time I've noticed people been successful with colors is when they go to somebody who really knows what they're doing, a stylist who knows how to color hair. But when you over dye your hair, it doesn't matter who does it. If you're going from black to bleach blonde in 1-2 weeks, your hair is going to be damaged. So do not over dye your hair. If there's a certain color that you want to go for, make sure you go through the steps. Bleach it one level once, wait a few months, get it back healthy, bleach it again. Do not try to get a certain color in one sitting of bleaching your hair. That is over dyeing it and you're damaging your hair. Number 18, not taking care of your hair in protective styles. Listen, protective styles are supposed to protect your hair, but you are causing more damage to your hair if you're not taking care of your hair while it's in that protective style. You cannot get in protective style and just neglect your hair. You just cannot do it. Then you wonder why I'm protective styling for 6 months and my hair is not growing. Your hair still needs to be moisturized. So you just cannot neglect your hair in a protective style. Make sure you're doing a protective style where you can still get to your hair, where you can kind of moisturize it, whether that's just spraying some water and some oil in your scalp or something. Just make sure you're doing a protective style where you can actually get to your scalp and actually take care of your hair so that the protective style actually works and you actually are protecting your hair. Number 19, listening to everyone but yourself. Only you know what works for your hair. Don't listen to everybody. You can try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But don't let other people tell you about your hair when you know that's not how your hair works. Number 20, always touching and picking your hair. I have a bad habit of this in the back of my hair. When I'm reading, I twist and twirl. And as you guys notice, this piece of my hair is always a lot shorter than the rest of my hair. You can't be touching and picking at your hair. You're going to end up causing breakage, and you don't want that. So if you keep touching and picking at your hair, you're doing a mistake with your natural hair. Number 21, not taking care of your body. To have healthy, it starts from within. Making sure you're eating the right vegetables, taking your vitamins, drinking enough water. All of that plays in a huge factor of how your hair grows. So if you're not taking care of your body, then don't be upset if your hair is not doing what it's supposed to do. That's probably a mistake you're making with your natural hair. Number 22, not protecting your hair when heat styling. If you're not using the right products when you're heat styling your hair, don't be mad if you come out with heat damage. You can use heat without damaging your hair, but you need to make sure you protect your hair before you use heat. Number 23, heat styling when you know your hair is not the healthiest, but you still do it anyway. Listen, if you decide to use heat when your hair is not healthy enough to take it, don't be mad at nobody but yourself when you have heat damage. Number 24, not using professional shears. Raise your hand if you're guilty. I'm guilty of this. Listen, I know shears can be expensive, but let me just tell you, just buy them. I noticed a significant difference when I purchased, I think my shears are like $50. Significant difference in the way it snips, the way it cuts. It's just absolutely amazing. Don't use those shears from Walmart. Like, just don't. Like, you could literally see the difference in the blade of the cut when you compare them with each other. But I'm telling you now, in my opinion, the more people who are going to be using those shears, then the more expensive you should go. But if it's just going to be you, I think the $50 to $75 shears is fine. But if you're going to be cutting hair on like 5-10 people, you might want to go in the $100 range. I just feel like they are more durable, because it makes me think like stylists don't have one pair of shears for everybody, but they use the same shears and they may have multiple clients. And I assume the more expensive they are, the more durable they are. So just something to keep in mind, but you definitely want to use professional shears when it comes to trimming and cutting your hair. Number 25, not sleeping on a satin pillowcase or in a satin bonnet or in a satin scarf. Cotton dries your hair out and it will tangle your hair. If you're sleeping on a cotton pillow, you will see little breakage of hair. You can actually see the product laying on the hair or laying on the pillowcase. And so if you aren't sleeping on a satin pillowcase, a satin bonnet, all that good stuff, you are probably damaging your hair. You may not notice it right away, but in the long run, you are, and it's more likely like, oh, my hair is growing, but your hair probably could have been longer. Number 26, detangling your hair with the wrong tool. Every detangling tool out there isn't made for everybody. You have to find a detangling tool that works best for you. For some people, that's finger detangling. For some people, that's the Dimming brush. For some people, that's the Felicia Leatherwood brush. For some people, that's the Tangle Teaser. Just find the right detangling tool for you. Number 27, not taking the time to perfect your hairstyles. Listen. When you're new to your natural hair, I don't suggest you jump to every single hairstyle. Perfect a hairstyle that you know works, that you know is not going to cause breakage when you do it, that you know is going to have longevity, that you just know works. Number 27, not perfecting your styling technique. What I mean by this, learning when is the best time to actually style your hair. For me, the best time for me to style my hair where I get the least amount of breakage is on damp hair. Not completely dry, but not soaking wet. When my hair is soaking wet, I get a lot of breakage. When my hair is dry, obviously dry hair breaks. So I have to find that perfect medium. And for me, that's when my hair is about 60 to 70% dry when I style my hair. And that has worked tremendously when it comes to my hair. So make sure you perfect your technique. You know when is the best time to actually style your hair. Number 28, trimming in twist. I know I might get a lot of backlash for this, but from experience, I don't want to put my experience on because, of course, everybody experiences different. But here's the thing with trimming your hair in twist. You could possibly not be trimming what you need to trim, and you can possibly be trimming too much. Unless you twist your hair the exact way every single time you trim your hair, you could possibly be trimming too much in one section and not enough in the other, and your hair might at the time may not look patchy, but it really is. So trimming your hair in twist is possibly a mistake that you're making. Number 29, stretching your wash and goes just a little bit too long. Listen, if you have type 4 hair, let's not play ourselves. Come day 3, day 4, our hair is dry and we need to at least re-wet it, reactivate those products, kind of work it in to re-moisturize our hair. So when it comes to wash and goes, if you're stretching your wash and goes 7, 10 days, you are probably causing breakage to your hair because your hair is probably dry. So make sure if you're going to do wash and goes that at least on day 3, day 4, you spray it with some water, reactivate those products, redefine curls if you need to. So stretching your wash and goes just a little tad bit too long, you probably make a mistake with your natural hair. Number 30, not researching things for yourself to see if they will work. Just because it works for somebody else does not mean it's going to work for you, and not researching, trying to figure out like, okay, is this really beneficial? Is this really helpful? You're making a mistake with your natural hair. You shouldn't just try things just to try it. You need to research it, learn about it, see why people are doing it, and don't just jump on it just because everybody else is doing. So make sure you research something before you decide, hey, I'm not going to do that. That doesn't work. I'm not going to do it. Or, hey, I want to give this a try. Let me look it up, see what are the benefits of doing this anyway. So yeah, those are my 30 mistakes that you're probably making with your natural hair. Let me know in the comments if any of these apply to you. If you have some other mistakes that you want to try, share with other people, put them down in your comments. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs it up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. So you really made it to the end of the video. you the real MVP. But because you made it to the end of the video, I know you like my content. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my other uploads. Also, make sure you check out these other 2 videos that I posted on my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching.